episode of Sports Corner on the Dinger. We've got C-Dub in the house.
Hi.
Punish Steve, special guest.
What's up?
Steve. So, it's, let's see what time it is.
Rachel's always great.
It's about 10 on on Monday or
Tuesday,
August 14th. We've had it's a crushing loss on Sunday.
My hometown, SP.
Yeah.
From what part of SP are you guys from?
I've got to say, probably Outlaws would be the only place I really identified with recently. Hawks pretty good. The meme war was fun.
Yeah.
Who did SP lose to?
They lost to VG, which had never won.
Wow.
No chips, no stars, and
Now they got one.
Unity Chan just demolished in the group stages.
Yeah. Let's see if I'll
And,
pull up the...
Put them up 1-0 early on, and after that, Kornheiser slipped, and
It's not Fukin slip.
Fukin slipped, mate, and after that moment, there was really no recovering.
Come on, SP!
Yeah, there was a nice second half goal to cut into the lead, but it was too little, too late, and it didn't come home.
It's not coming home again.
This is the probably the worst loss I can remember in sports. As a lifelong SP fan.
SP on the shirt,
One goat on the shirt, lad.
2 stars on the shirt. I don't care what the fuck anyone says. Two stars on the shirt.
But that was rough. It was a good showing.
2 years of hurt.
60 months of hurt, as they were saying.
There you go.
But anyway, in real sporting news, it's not looking good for the Doyers. I feel like that's probably our lead story with not much going on.
Yeah.
The Doyers have lost 4 straight games in which the bullpen blew the game, which is frightening.
Everyone's hearts started exploding for some reason.
Isn't the Red Sox just going off a bigger story than the Doyers?
I mean...
And we're kind of going hometown bias here. I'm just going to say it straight up here.
Well, I mean, the Red Sox have been going off for what, 4 months now?
This is a season-long thing.
This is like a recent development that the Dodgers have started just shitting their assholes out.
Jansen got the irregular heartbeat on, I want to say Thursday or Friday.
Something like that, yeah.
When he got to Colorado with the elevated height, and, he's had issues in Colorado before.
Yeah.
And
you hear he's going to have, off-season surgery.
He's going to have off-season surgery. He's hoping to come back sooner than the 4 to 6 weeks, which was initially diagnosed as the return time, which sorely needed, as the Rocky series was abysmal.
Terrible.
And the game last night was just as bad.
Awful.
And tonight, in the game, there's not a lead. What are we at here? Bottom of the 8th? Yeah.
Bottom of the 8th, 2 out, still 1-0.
Evan Turner's currently up to bat.
Justin Turner,
yeah.
Yes.
Evan Turner.
Will Turner.
Yeah. Is Evan Turner in the league anymore?
Yeah, he signed some sort of really ridiculously big contract for no reason and has not lived up to it.
Wasn't that like an Ohio State bust or something?
Yeah.
I think it's Will Turner is currently up to bat and hoping to take out One-Eyed Willie.
All right.
And Davy Jones.
Let's hope for some
of the
dingers.
Monkeys.
Give me some fucking dingers right now. Turner's 2 for 3, 2 doubles. So
he had a dinger last night. Didn't matter.
Please ding me.
But anyway,
that's something. That's something.
Yeah.
That's out.
No.
It's a double. It's a double.
That was like a fucking cunt hair away from a home run. So he's 3 for 4, 3 doubles now.
But there was no one on, eh?
No.
Okay.
But he's bottom of the 8th, 2 on.
But it's
second.
it's potential momentum shifter because you thought you were out and you're not out.
We'll see.
He was a serious.
It's not been good as of late.
He was a fucking cunt hair away from a home solo dinger.
He did not have enough launch angle on that.
Yeah.
His dick wasn't quite.
Should have gone more with the man.
Kelly Slater missed the catch.
Yeah, he cucked his fuck.
All right, so the Doyers are kind of in free fall. It's
There's
not
lots
good.
of
the Red Sox are surging.
It's losing 4 in a row of free fall.
Well, I mean, they were only
when
one
all
game
of them
up.
are bullpen chokes, where the offense couldn't get enough. They were like hanging on.
Where every game you're like, oh, it's 2-0 in the bottom of the ninth or whatever, and then here's a walk-off home run. Then that's a definite
this is
Manny
flashes.
Machado's up
This
to
is
bat
flashes
right now.
of April when they were terrible, and early May.
It's my history. Dodgers history always dictates they're awful and terrible in April. Up. They
down.
tied the game.
Come on, Turner.
They tied the game.
Yeah, he's gonna make
This
it.
is in.
We'll see.
in
Terrible
contact.
throw.
It's safe.
1-1.
Hey,
Manny Machado
all
base hit signal.
sorry, reverse jinx, Steve.
You're
Steve.
fucking welcome. I'm
right.
helping you out. I'm
Hey.
doing you a solid.
All right.
I'm not talking about Cardinals baseball right now, which is doing pretty fucking good.
And
Yeah.
they-
All things considered.
Quality game.
They were,
Quality game.
I think they were tied with the Dodgers coming into tonight for the wild card,
Yeah, they're
right?
currently a game up right now.
They won. They won tonight.
There we go.
Quality game.
We'll see.
But you know, I don't like to talk about that because I do get superstitious. So
I don't like to talk about anything because I'm superstitious all the time.
I only like to show off if we win have a good season, you show it off, and you feel good about it on the off season.
Yeah.
That seems like a reasonable opinion to have.
Speaking of the offseason, Philadelphia Eagles still Super Bowl champions. Fuck
Yes. Yeah, what was the lineman?
Thanks, Malcolm Butler.
He was talking about
you. Lane.
No, Johnson, I think.
Yeah, Lane Johnson. Yeah,
Lane Johnson,
talking
yeah.
about how
Fucking Lane Johnson.
he wants them to like be amped
He's
up
like,
for
yeah,
the game.
Patriots, I talk some shit.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Pats fans.
Yeah.
I'm not backing down.
He's the same guy
I'm
that's
not
got
blocking you.
the quality Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation.
That'd be funny if he
hell
got
yeah.
that'd be funny if he got like caught on steroids again.
Oh, again, it'd be
You're
great.
like, oh, we're better than the Patriots because we don't have discipline. Like, and they
Machado
end up
just stole second.
They're playing this week in preseason, right?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think that's
tomorrow.
why that story came up because it was like, oh, are you worried because it's in New England? I want to say,
and he
right?
was like, "Oh, fuck you."
It'd be fantastic if New England just like stomped them without Malcolm Butler.
That'd be pretty fun.
God, this fucking Malcolm Butler thing. Even today, I want to say I was listening to Stephen A. and he was like, they lost because of Malcolm Butler. I'm
No.
like, why is this a narrative? This
How
is
is
the
Malcolm
dumbest
Butler
thing.
going to take any of those points off the field?
Yeah.
The answer: he's not.
Yeah.
He was not good that year.
Yeah.
Not good those playoffs.
Yeah. I don't think like that defensive line couldn't stop shit.
That defense was really bad for all of the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
I don't think
certainly a good chunk of the regular
I don't
season.
think anybody was stopping the Philly special.
No.
No, that like
It was a special year for Philly.
And also,
perfectly timed.
and Brady was like a touchdown. It was like a throw. He was like a fumble away from like winning
yeah.
because
true.
we like. I mean,
It
obviously,
literally came down to the last second, even with the fumble involved.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
so-
he was
still got
from.
the
I know
ball
he was
back.
from behind, and crazy things could happen. But it was like basically, history dictates that.
I mean,
touchdown Tom is going to
History
fucking
had
score.
dictated that only Eli Manning autism could stop touchdown Tom from winning the Super Bowl.
But what they didn't realize was Nick's big dick comes in.
Blue Eyes White
fucks
Dragon.
The fucking Brady.
Return of the GOAT.
Exactly. Return
God is
of
great.
the fucking goat.
So I was not mad in the least as a
Foles is going to play
as
in the
a
preseason game, by the way.
Pats fan.
He,
What was that?
he prayed his way to victory, man.
Yeah.
Nick Foles, man.
Foles is going to play.
Oh, I thought you were
in the
talking
preseason.
about the whole what's his face, the guy in the Cardinals that used to be on the Rams, Kurt Warner, who was
Warner?
like pray.
Oh no, yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
So yeah, that didn't
Nick,
work
Nick
out.
Foles is like. Nick
He's also
Nick
a
Foles
good God
was-
fearing Christian.
Yeah.
to the point where he was actually going to retire and become a pastor.
Yeah.
He wanted to start his
Damn.
own parish.
His fucking.
Kurt Warner at least did not start his own parish.
You know what happened was the fucking.
Really?
The St. Louis Rams ruined his career.
Yeah,
He hated
Jeff
football
Fisher-
so much.
Jeff
that he-
Fisher specifically.
Fisher.
Jeff Fisher
Strikes again.
specifically.
Motherfucker.
He almost ruined Jeff Goff. Jared
Goff,
Goff.
yeah.
Jeff Goff.
Jeff Goff. Jeff Kemp.
Speaking of Jeffs, what's his face from Cam High?
Jeff Matthews.
Yes, he's starting he's in the CFL now.
Yeah.
Is he out slugging Johnny Manziel right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the same team.
Are they on the same team?
They're on the.
Fuck yeah!
Johnny Manziel got traded to the team where Jeff Matthews had started a game this season, and like they were the worst team in the CFL.
That's the one that like when Johnny threw like when
4 picks or
and
whatever.
they put Matthews back in.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, that's our boy. You played with that dude, Steve.
I did. He and I were technically teammates. We shared a bond together.
I was teammates.
It's like being in the Marines, except gayer.
I was teammates with him for 5th grade the fucking basketball.
They still
Oh,
think
hell yeah.
They still think I have a giant cock. It's great.
Partner Steve. But I interviewed him for video production, and he was actually one of the he actually probably was the smartest athlete I interviewed.
Oh, he was great.
The
Great
worst
guy.
would have been one of those baseball guys.
Yeah.
Like, as much as people like to say, like, oh, baseball is this complicated sport, and maybe it is, the athletes, they come off as dumb as shit. They were the worst interviews.
They also are kind of like the worst Americans too, in general.
There's
Like, some real cunts.
Like
I love baseball. Talking to baseball players in high school, at least in Camarillo High, they were.
Maybe okay. I should say
hold on.
the white ones.
Hold on. What was the name of the baseball coach that you had? As was he English?
Cuckold.
Hawkes.
We might have to put this one on Hawkes. This may be not representative.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm actually
athletes.
personally good. I have like a close connection to the current baseball coach.
Yeah.
He's not Hawkes, right?
No, much nicer.
Not relevant then. Fuck Hawkes. If you're listening, fuck you. You're not listening.
You're a fucking turd. I hate you.
Yeah, he was awful.
Don't even really know you. You're a turd.
He's like the good turtle impression. That he used
And all
to-
Oh yeah, his voice was awful. It was like
Where's Eva?
Like Captain Kirk kind of thing.
What?
So yeah, maybe my
vote is to watch some Eva.
interpretation of Cam High baseball athletes. I'm gonna have to reevaluate that because
There were a lot of bad football ones too, like
oh my god, the
Molesworth and
yes, I interviewed him. He actually was the single worst interview.
And there was the bloody knees guy.
The bloody knees guy.
Yeah, like the Ravenclaw, like the.
Oh, okay. If we're talking Art Perez, then
Mr. fucking Perez.
That's my boy.
I had like
that guy's that guy's a fucking beefer.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's like legendarily retarded, but
Yeah.
like absolutely knew
It's
like some
because-
shit.
It was his Vietnam stories were the best.
Do you want to?
Yeah, wasn't there a story where he taught you guys how to wipe your ass with a single sheet of toilet paper?
Yes. He also
Like,
taught us how.
if you've got your football coach giving you that advice, I feel like there's something to be respected.
okay, like just really briefly here, top 3 things. That was number 2 on the top 3.
Oh, great.
Okay, but the third
So let's
one.
go number 3 next.
Number 3 is when he would talk about how he would give like Vietnamese children like laxatives while he was like on tour in Vietnam, because like
We're going to need a little bit further explanation here. Is there a reason for this?
I
He was
don't
cleaning
know.
them out
because
for later.
because they were obviously they were cleaning hooches, they were burning hooches and taking out mama sons and
The laxatives.
they just fed laxatives to prank the kids.
To prank the kids.
Yes, I think
We're gonna get some
it was
air
like-
quotes for prank here.
All right.
Is that our own website now?
That's what it looks like.
Fantastic.
Oh, nice. Sorry, continue.
And that was pretty much number 3. But the way the kids would react, either like Cheetos or laxatives, and
Interpret that how you will. Okay, we'll move to number 1.
Number 1 was basically we'd get in a circle while he'd take a piss on the field,
Oh, okay, yeah. That's,
and then
that's,
and then there'd be like some woman like walking by, jogging by on the track in like a sports bra and spandex, and he's just like, oh, and he start like motorboating, like. It was fantastic.
I've got another classic.
we should preface this. He was an actual Vietnam veteran, and when we were in high school, he must have been 60 and above.
yeah,
right?
he had the bullet. You could see his bullet wounds and everything. Scars and everything.
I never had the privilege of seeing his exposed skin or
he had
penis
the
or
cutoff shirts.
laxatives,
Sophomore
but
year of high school, I took STAR testing with him in the Camarillo library. And as he's passing out the
Is that your girl?
as he's passing out the
No, this
test,
is the
his legs just start bleeding. And I don't know what that was about, but his legs are bleeding, and he's like touching his legs, and he's like licking he's like touching his legs and then licking his hands like with like the blood like on his hands, and he's like so it's like a touch and lick, touch and lick, and then he's handing out these tests, and the tests have blood on them. The tests have his freshly licked leg blood on them. And people are like, what the fuck? But we have to take this test because like we're like 15 years old and we don't know what else the fuck we're supposed to do. So we just kind of have to deal with that. Like, and his legs are still bleeding the whole way through the testing. Like, it was a very disturbing experience. I still don't fully understand it.
want to make a quick point here.
I think that takes over your number one story, Steve, by a country mile. But congratulations on runner-up.
I feel emasculated by that. Fuck you, Jake.
I also have 2 stories to go for some Perez.
Oh my gosh!
What
a legend!
The second best one I would have to say is I was in weight training, and he was not the weight training teacher, but he was just around because he also taught PE. And one of the days, like right up coming close to when it was summer, he just came in and he turned on the heater in the weight room, and then he walked out of the weight training room. Just like in the middle of it was probably like 100 degrees outside. He turned on the heater and then walked out.
He also
what
was
a
like
lad.
he was also a bandwagoner on any major like sports team that
I think I saw
had the most
his
titles.
keychain had like a Redskins and a Yankees and like one other thing. I was like, what the hell, dude?
He liked the Celtics because they had the most titles. He liked the Yankees because they had the most titles, and I'm assuming he liked. I don't know why he liked the Skins, but like
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because he's a dick.
I was surprised it wasn't like the fucking Cowboys or whoever had the
Right.
most titles at the
The
time.
Steelers.
I remember when I was his aide for PE
Oh my
in
gosh.
sophomore year when the Pats got accused of running up the score on the Redskins. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, how about
"Fuck
that
you."
Pats Redskins game?
Yeah.
When they won, like, what was it, 52-7?
Yeah.
When like who
They
was the
got
third
this-
stringer that like scored a touchdown?
Yeah, fuck. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Fuck, who was that?
Yeah, I was at your house for the game. Yeah, that was a great
when
game.
we were like all both rooting for the Redskins to get shut out, and then they got a touchdown with like
Oh, yeah.
like a minute and a half left in the game or something.
Yeah, it was almost 52-0.
Yeah. Anyway, the second story that I have is he was my sister's home school teacher.
Oh my God! Yeah, Perez Part 2.
Yeah, Perez Part 2.
I thought I was done.
No,
And
he-
then I happened to be at your house. When
Yeah,
he came
he
over and
was-
I'm like, oh my God.
He was my sister's homeschool teacher while she was like
This isn't
recovering from
over.
her surgery, her shoulder surgery. And I'm pretty sure she passed exclusively on, she baked like cupcakes every time he came over and just gave him cupcakes, and he passed her, like gave her straight A's, I think, because she like gave him cupcakes every time he came over. So that's that's the best story I have of him. Is just
Yeah.
like, oh, he came over and got cupcakes, and then my sister got an A in her whole being home school.
Arturo
setting.
Perez, you are
Great
a living
guy.
legend.
Love that guy.
If you are still alive.
I hope so.
Me too. All right, so
That was a sidetrack there.
I disagree. That was perfectly on point
Yeah.
to whatever we're talking about.
NFL offseason. So I guess rooting interest wise, the Eagles, how do you feel they've done?
I'd say I'm very worried
Okay.
because that's the default.
The Philly.
The Philly default.
The proper
is-
Philly special
Yeah, is
is,
like,
That's just an NFL
Dread.
East
Yeah.
division problem too, because every team's gone from worst to first in the division
every
the last-
time, like
last
nobody.
4
yeah,
years.
the NFC East really is it's a dogfight, and
I'm really not that worried about it because the last team to go win back-to-back years was the Eagles back in that 04-05, I think, when they went to the Super Bowl and then they
been
won the
that
division.
long?
Yeah, it's been that long.
No,
where they
really?
went. Yeah, that was the last team to win back-to-back.
Philly didn't do it in like 2013, 2012 or something.
No,
like
one of
that?
those was the RG3 Redskins.
Oh, 2012 was
Yeah.
that. 2013 was
the Mike Vick,
Nick
I think. Yeah,
Foles.
yeah, Nick Foles, Mike Vick, like combination
2014
season.
must have been the Cowboys with DeMarco Murray.
Yeah,
2015 probably was the Giants as some fluke or something.
yeah, that was like the 11-5. No, that was 2016.
No, 2016
17.
was the Cowboys one.
2017
where
was
they
the
had,
Giants where
Zeke
they won, yeah.
and Dak, you know.
Yeah, and then 2018. No, 2018 will be this year.
Yeah.
I'm a year off on my. I haven't been paying attention to years. I've been too busy drinking. And,
Put away some new amp.
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I guess the NFC East is a crapshoot. Let's go division by division. Who do we think's going to win? Let me pull them up here. So we'll start with the NFC East. I think we're probably all in,
It's fantastic.
we're all in agreement that this scene's pretty hot here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's what we've been watching for the last like 15 minutes.
I think these are the best sports corners when you're here, Corey.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, the athlete on the left there on offense is pretty elite. I gotta say.
It's pretty elite, I would say. That was Steve's pick.
Yeah, no, that's
She's one of my favorites right now.
You know that
I've got her breakout performance.
You know the meme girl like with the glasses with like the BBC.
Oh yeah,
That's the one on the right.
Oh,
So it's a classic performance.
damn.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm on NFL.com and
So
shout
are we-
out to NFL.com.
Yeah,
You got some-
we are too actually.
So going from top to bottom, I think AFC East we will skip. There's no need.
There's no way.
You sure?
AFC North.
No, back up.
Oh, yeah?
Sam Darnold, man. Sam Darnold
Sam Darnold.
is going to be the Jets' savior, or he's a fucking schmuck.
He's gonna be the savior, right, to 5 wins.
Yeah, he'll save them from last.
He's going to
place.
save Todd Bowles' job, and yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, like
I feel like of the top 4, he probably ranked of top 4 quarterbacks. I should
Yeah.
say. I think I put him just above Allen in terms of meatheads. Like,
Oh,
I
totally.
think Rosen is the opposite. He's not a meathead. He's
a Jew.
Yeah. Number 2, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. This
Also, kind of very much a meathead.
yeah. My favorite part about Darnold is how much he looks like Bell.
Oh my God, that's a good subplot.
I don't know if Darnold's necessarily intellectually a meathead. I just think
No,
he just kind of looks like one.
yeah, he like Mayfield acts like one. Darnold looks like one. Allen is one.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Allen's probably the worst, like, top whatever 10 quarterback
I
I've ever
cannot
seen get
believe
drafted.
he was hyped that much. He's like,
It's going to be bad.
yeah,
The Bills have
got
no
no faith
chance.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Tannehill practice championship 2017.
I'm on the
already
roster.
throwing out running backs from his huddles in
Oh, that was
training
great.
camp.
Seriously?
So the Dolphins, they've got good leadership at quarterback. So they're going to go 3-13.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
I love the grind.
No, all of those AFC East teams outside, like even if the Patriots like regress and go like 11-5, they're
Yeah,
still going to
10
win.
and 6,
They're
yeah.
still going to win the division by
they'll
like 4
clinch-
games.
Yeah, no chance there.
No chance.
So
chance.
let's keep plugging along. AFC North. So I don't see any way the Steelers don't win unless Big Ben just really regresses and Flacco becomes elite again, which I think is less likely.
Or
than,
if Lamar Jackson
yeah.
comes in and takes over and has like some sort of RG3
That's also the
style heat
exciting-
up.
I
That's
don't,
far more interesting than the Steelers winning, honestly.
it is. I think there's not really a chance for Lamar Jackson to come
The
in
real question-
and dominate NFL
Yeah,
defenses.
I'm with you on this one. Ask the question.
The real question is, how hard are Cleveland Browns fans going to be disappointed because everyone's blowing smoke up their ass and they think they're going to be good this year?
I think that's more on us. That's a non-Brown fan narrative. I don't think they actually believe that.
Yeah,
I
but
think
still.
Cleveland fans they know.
Yeah, you're
They
probably
know.
right. You're probably right.
I feel like
but
it's the media. The Browns have not won a NFL title since 1964 when they had running back legend Jim Brown at running back, and since then they've made the playoffs 4 times in history or so.
Have you heard about what's going on in Cleveland right now? So
What's that?
so in Cleveland bars they're starting this thing called victory fridges or victory chests or something like that. So like every time they win, like they actually win, like everyone in the bar, like they open up like this chest and like everyone gets like a free beer. It's a Bud Light, so it's like air quotes around beer, but like it's kind of a thing,
Yeah, I guess there's some, or maybe that's very cynical by Bud Light. They understand they're not going to have to give out much free
They're like,
beer.
they're like,
a little bit twisted.
they're like victory fridge dilly dilly.
yeah, exactly.
It's like feeding off of their defeat almost.
But what dumbass idiot is going to put down a Cleveland Browns Super Bowl bet in the preseason?
Well, eventually someone will have
there's
to
always
put them on the
someone that
pick 'em.
will.
But like somebody who believes
the
it.
biggest long shot. I don't know if anyone believes it at this point.
I was-
They're 1-31 in the last 2 years.
There's people like in the community that believe that like the Browns could win 8 games this year.
8
What's
is
their over under?
the over under. I last I checked, I think was 4.5.
We'll let you look it up.
Yeah,
we can't
okay.
we can't get out of full speed.
I understand you've got important NFL videos, replays,
We're
and
film,
things going
it's
on.
a lot of film study, man.
Yes.
film study
It's
and
students of the game on the other
we go on
other
top-
half of the field here.
we gotta match Tom Brady on this shit. Watching film. Watch film. I don't know why I like to watch film, but I do.
Okay, so according to CBS Sports, the over/under win totals. I have to scroll through several paragraphs. Thank you, CBS Sports.
Fuck you, CBS. Fuck you, Genghis.
Okay, Google.
5.5. Okay, so I was one too low. I think they're one too high.
I think they're one too high as well.
I'll take the under on that.
Yeah.
They're not winning 6 games or 5 games.
I feel
or
like
whatever.
that's definitely the more compelling storyline rather than who's going to win the AFC North is who, like, how
the
many
Browns
games,
actually do.
How are the Browns going to do with possibly a new, I mean, definitely a new quarterback, but possibly a rookie quarterback or
How will
possibly.
that work out? Both the Ravens and the Browns have the situation where the coaches' jobs are on the line and they should be playing one quarterback when they'll be pushed to play another.
I'm not so sure
Actually,
the
that's the
Lamar
Jets.
Jackson thing's really going to be that big of a deal.
It's the Jets. Todd
Yeah, the
Bowles playing the
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah.
Because you got
So-
AJ McCarron and
Bridgewater and
I think the Lamar Jackson push will be in year 2 if it happens.
yeah.
Like
He's been something in the preseason though. He's been interesting to say the least.
he's I guess that's a step above practice squad champion or
That's true.
practice squad MVP.
But at least it's something, you know, like it's
Sure, I'm rooting for him. I hate Joe Flacco. Fuck that guy. But you know,
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I don't think there's going to be a legitimate quarterback
I
controversy.
feel like Harbaugh should have won that Super Bowl rather than Harbaugh.
You know, I nervous birds, man. You know, I gotta agree with Jim here.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
What
moving
about
on to the
Turkey?
AFC South, which could be the most interesting division in the AFC. It's going to be between that or the West, but
I think
if everyone comes back healthy, Houston's the favorite, right?
Yeah.
yeah. The most thing we're sure of, I'm sure, is that it will.
Tennessee sucks.
I was going to
I
say
think
Jacksonville.
we're sure of that.
I was going to say Jacksonville will not win it.
I don't think they're going to go back to back. I could see them
They
getting
have-
the wild
they-
card.
They have a first. They're going to have a first place schedule.
Yeah, but in the AFC, that's not nearly as an issue as it is.
Everybody's.
You know who won the AFC West? It was the Chiefs, who may finish last in the division this
you
year.
know who the Jaguars
Yeah, but, like,
quarterback is Blake Bortles.
And you know who the other quarterback.
I know,
The other quarterbacks
I know,
in
I'm just
division are
saying-
Marcus Mariota.
A first place schedule in the AFC is not nearly as daunting as the NFC.
I'd agree.
Andrew Luck is probably back, and
There's no guarantee of that.
he's at least throwing a
He's
football.
he's playing at
He's
least.
playing
Yeah.
and is throwing a
Yeah,
real football.
He's thrown a real football. I don't think that's a leg to stand on.
It's better than Nerf balls.
It's better than Nerf balls.
There's a
Or
reason.
wiffle balls.
There's a reason they shut him down all last year, and never activated him.
Yeah.
So
Well, part of that
I'm
was
thinking
Brissett.
Yeah, Brissett played pretty well.
Just smoky brisket.
Just the brisket, man.
I'm
I
hoping
like the
they-
brisket.
I kind of want them to like trade Brissett to somebody and get something back for him because I don't think he's good, and I think it would be really funny.
I don't
if
think the Colts are going to
like,
do that until
Luck
after the
proves-
season. They need
yeah.
to see a full season from
That's how I
Andrew
feel.
Luck.
That's how I
to-
feel about Philly and Nick Foles too. Is that something's going to
But-
give, but it won't be until after
I think
Wentz proves that
I
he's
think
back.
Wentz's injury is a little more
What's the
conventional.
Houston quarterback's name?
It was the ACL,
Deshaun
you know.
Watson.
It wasn't his throwing shoulder. That situation's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might see the Eagles trade Nick Foles depending on what happens. I
Yeah,
don't
maybe
think
at the
there's
end-
any
end of the
chance
preseason or something.
Brissett gets traded.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I think they've got a chance at the deadline, maybe if somebody's had like an injury or something. Even though the deadline trades don't really happen in the NFL, I can see
I
that
think
being
with
a
that
thing.
organization having to deal with this Luck situation, to put themselves right back in complete vulnerability if the shoulder is re-injured, that just wouldn't make sense. He's not getting traded.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we're not sure about what the Colts will be. We're sure the Texans are probably the favorites if they're healthy. We're thinking the Jags are going to regress
Yeah.
Yeah.
because Bortles won't have that good
gonna have
stretch.
to play- he's gonna have
but
to
they
face it.
still have the best defense probably in the AFC.
Yeah.
They maybe have the
Fournette
best
is
defense
still
in the
really
NFL.
good. It's them and the Vikings, you know.
Yeah, like up there. As
And
the
I'm not
top.
sure if that's going to matter all that much with the defenses.
It depends.
Those defenses that made it to the playoffs, they got smoked. Every single one of them.
Yeah, it was not
It
a
was
very
like-
defensive-friendly playoffs.
No,
That's
absolutely
for sure.
not.
Like, and they say great defenses beat great offenses. Like
Not
that was
anymore.
not clearly the case in the.
But that helps
playoffs.
them against the Titans
It probably
and
helps them get
against
to the playoffs
or the
more than-
Bills and against the Steelers and
It'll actually when they face inferior quarterbacks.
yeah. So it's not defense is not irrelevant, but when you're facing the
But,
cream of the crop,
but
maybe.
like
The hottest offenses.
But in terms of winning the AFC South, I don't think that's going to be discounted because there's
But they have the most inferior quarterback if all three are
no,
back.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that.
Bortles is
They
not
have
nearly
they
as
have
good
the
as
most
Andrew Luck,
meme bad
Mariota,
quarterback.
or-
He's not
or
the
Watson.
worst quarterback. I would rate Bortles above Tannehill. I'd rate Bortles
talking
above
AFC
Tyrod Taylor.
I'm talking in division because they play each other
in
they
division.
shoot
I'd
twice.
put him above Mariota. I don't believe in Mariota at all. Partially because fuck Oregon, but I don't believe in Mariota.
That's not a real reason.
Sure.
I think that it might not matter regardless because I think that if everyone stays healthy, which it never happens and it never will, but I think Houston
Houston
maybe,
has the best team on paper,
Houston
for
maybe
sure.
even has a better defense than Jacksonville.
All I know is I haven't
We
seen
haven't
Mariota.
seen enough from Watt in the last couple years.
Yeah,
to know
but like if
he's
everyone
the player
stays
he
healthy,
was.
you know that like if you get a healthy Watt and a healthy
if we have
Clowney on the same
2015
deal,
Watt,
yeah,
then
exactly,
yes,
then
yeah.
yeah.
I'll believe that.
Plus, they got like pretty good secondary, pretty good linebackers on top of that.
Yeah.
But like Jacksonville is like top to bottom great in every position.
All I
like,
know
group,
is that Mariota
Yes.
did not throw the ball, make a forward pass.
I think he
penalty.
regressed this year.
He probably will, but I know.
Or last
I
year.
just know that he didn't do a forward pass twice in a game,
Yeah.
and Blake Bortles did when he passed the ball in front of the line of scrimmage.
Also, Mariota caught a touchdown pass in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
right. that was the stupidest game of
That
the
was
playoffs.
dumb as fuck, yeah.
Fuck that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even like Travis Kelce, but I wish he didn't get hurt because like that Pats Titans game was like the most
was trash.
non-game.
Yeah.
Like they should have just called that and been like, no, we're not even playing it.
all right. Next
All right.
division.
So the AFC West, I think is going to be the most interesting. And
Yeah.
going into last season, it was also the most interesting until
Yeah.
things happened and the Chargers started 0-4 and the quarterback situation in Denver went terrible and
Yeah.
Oakland's defense fell apart.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a Chiefs versus Chargers. I'm assuming.
I'm curious to see how Case Keenum does. I think they've been a dumpster fire since Peyton's arm
Yeah.
turned to spaghetti.
Yeah.
I
On
think if they
offense.
can get like a mediocre season out of Case Keenum, they'll be like
Which
in the
is
hunt.
completely reasonable.
And they'll be in the hunt. Is
Yeah,
what
Like the
You
franchise.
go from Smith to Mahomes for the Chiefs,
That's
which
like a
is a
definite
total
downgrade.
wild card. But
I would say definite downgrade.
I will say Andy Reid's offense has produced
So many great quarterbacks throughout the years.
maybe not great quarterbacks,
Great
quarterback
quarterbacks in the
seasons.
system.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah.
So I'm not as
Strong wide
worried about
receivers.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
strong receiving cores,
Plus,
and they have good running backs.
Yeah, that system's designed for a quarterback who's not dominant or elite to succeed in, as we saw with Smith. Sorry, he's not elite. And the Raiders, of course, the most interesting team with Chucky back in the
John
NFL.
fucking Gruden.
Yeah, I think he's gonna coach himself at like.
I
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like he's gonna make
hot
all.
take here. I think they're finishing last. I
think
I'm
that
pretty
take is
sure
gonna-
that's what's going to
I
happen.
think that take is cooler than you think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
People are predicting their.
I don't like with the way like everybody's thinking highly of the Chargers.
I think
And they
highly of the
think-
Chargers.
and they
I
think-
think they're the favorites.
Yeah,
I think the Chargers are going to lose everyone to injury again
And
this
both-
season,
both-
just like every year.
They've already started.
Yeah, they
Using
got
their
Hunter
tight
Henry
end.
and Verrett both out for the season already. So
And Chargers. Yeah, Chargers gonna charge.
I just want to say one thing is the San Diego LA Chargers are every single year the hardest team to play in Madden. Every year they like win the Super Bowl within the first like 2 years, and every year it never happens. So like every
Yeah.
year, and it's still happening this year. So I'm going to predict they don't do shit again this year because
Let's look at their two best results.
shit
2007 made it to the AFC Championship game,
shit, blew it.
lost. 1995, no, 94. Most lopsided game in Super Bowl history, I want to
missed
say.
this.
Their loss to Steve Young's 49ers. I think that game was like 59-10.
Yeah. Ooh, we got some sort of a Puig fight that went on in the game.
Dodgers ended up losing though.
2-1.
Not in free fall, Steve, right? 5 in a row now?
Yeah, 5 in a row.
5 in a row is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably 3 games south now.
I missed that.
Yeah,
division?
probably. I don't feel like looking it up, and so I'm not gonna. So basically, on the AFC West, I look at that division as the most volatile. I have no clue how it's actually going to shake out,
Yeah.
and it could end up being like last year, where that same situation was the case, but ended up not kind of being boring. You know, it was like Chiefs pulled away immediately.
And nobody gave a
This was
fuck.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
I
yeah,
hope
that's-
that doesn't
This
happen.
is a serious brawl.
Yeah,
But
that's actually good.
I could
We missed
see.
out, man.
Trying to finish the segment here.
I'm sorry.
There's no
Just
segment.
kidding. But I could see this division repeating and like, oh, the Chargers are actually the best and they're gonna go 12-4.
I could also
Or
see
the
the Chargers going like
Broncos.
6 and 10.
Yeah,
The
no, I can
Broncos have
see-
always been a solid enough franchise where if they have a winning season, it's like not surprising. It's just they're kind of the most
Yeah,
consistent.
last season was just a little bit of a train wreck.
It happens.
Early on.
I mean,
They gave the Giants their first win.
They like-
Think about that.
they decided that they didn't need a quarterback, and then like 3 games into the season, they were like, "Oh fuck, we're wrong. This is really bad. We
Yeah.
never should have decided that."
So I have no feel for how this one's going to actually go, but it certainly
that's
looks
like
to be the most interesting.
Definitely the hardest division to peg down.
Well, there might be one division more interesting, and we're going to get to that one next. This week's presenting sponsor on the Sports Corner by The Dinger is My Chemical Romance. With their breakthrough album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge in 2004, the band capitalized on their sound with songs such as Helena,
Inspired by 9/11.
inspired
And-
by 9/11,
I'm not okay. I promise.
and who could forget The Ghost of You.
Fantastic.
Following 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, they followed up with the emo rock masterpiece, Black Parade,
It's like Queen, but better.
with songs such as Famous Last Words, Teenagers, and, of course, the title track.
The Black Parade.
So, this week, you can go to iTunes and type in code The Dinger to get 10% off My Chemical Romance streams.
Do it. If you don't, fuck you. Now let's take a shot to this shit.
And 50% off a taste of my ass.
All right. NFC.
So, NFC, I gave that little tease because...
Like a little bitch.
because I think the actual most interesting division is going to be the NFC West. So we're going to do it backwards this time.
Cardinals.
Cardinals have, I think, the best rookie quarterback.
I'd agree.
Yeah, ready to go.
I think
for sure.
Josh Rosen
They
was
also
the most
have the-
NFL ready. He was the smartest. He was so good that opposing coaches were putting out false rumors that of like his personality and shit. Because like apparently his like knowledge of the game intimidated like assistant coaches and shit.
Yeah.
He was like a tennis guy with like a good upbringing, so super smart.
And he
had
wanted,
the education.
And he wanted to create a philosophy of why we were going to choose plays. That was
Yeah.
that was a complaint. Like he wanted to ask why. I'm like,
That's like
why
good-
not?
good-
ask
that's a
why,
good
ask
idea, yeah.
questions.
So yeah, the opposite of the meathead. This guy, I think, has the best chance to have a good career.
I also think that Sam Bradford's going to start the season as a starting
I
quarterback.
think he's going
there.
to start the season.
That's
I think
fine.
Sam Bradford is
He's gonna play
proven
for 2
veteran,
games.
and then
He's
will
a
get
proven
hurt.
and proven to be injury
He's,
prone.
he's proven to be injured at some point in the season, which will give Josh Rosen his opportunity.
Still think they're going to be last in the division.
I'm not so sure about that.
My vote would be Seattle.
Yeah, I'm thinking Seattle's the most iffy team in terms of highest ceiling, lowest floor.
I just think that Russell Wilson's going to lead them to being
He's the
good
best
enough
quarterback in the division.
by like a good amount, I would say.
Best player in the division outside of maybe Todd Gurley
Yeah.
or David Johnson.
I would just say that I feel like the Seahawks, it's a different team. they're going to be worse than they were previously, but I just don't think that with Russell Wilson as that starting quarterback, and they're not facing a first place schedule, they got this thing going on where maybe the offensive line's probably going to be better. They signed some guys.
I don't think it could be worse.
It's not going to be worse. And
I don't know. I didn't know if they fixed that problem.
I think the running game and the lack of stability in the secondary now.
They drafted a guy in the first round, running back in the first round. That could be something. They tried, at the very least, they tried to
We've
fix
seen
that
success
problem.
recently with rookie running backs.
And they tried to fix the problem, and they got younger on defense. As much as Sherman's a great guy and all that, but he's getting up there and he's slowing down a little bit. He's I think 30, maybe 31.
Something like that, yeah.
He's like getting up there in age. Cam Chancellor retired because his neck is too fucked up or something. Get some young guys in there, maybe get some speed on that. I don't believe that they're going to bottom out like a lot
I
of people
definitely
think.
believe they have the most up and downside.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I just don't think that with Russell Wilson out there, I don't think that if you have the best quarterback in the division, I don't think he'll finish last. I'd say at worst they get like a third place at like 7-9.
I'd buy that. I still don't necessarily. I'm not gonna say they don't have the potential to get fourth. I think that potential's there.
Yeah.
I believe in the Cardinals as a team that only a couple seasons ago was in the NFC title game with Carson Palmer, who's never been an elite quarterback. So
Carson Palmer, who's better than Sam Bradford.
better than Sam Bradford for sure. But we'll see what Josh Rosen can do. I'm gonna say both those teams are gonna be probably third and fourth in some order.
Yeah.
With maybe the Seahawks being higher, but I'm not so sure the Cardinals can get up to second.
The one other point I have to make about the Cardinals is somebody unnamed for the sake of keeping their identity safe from the podcast
Fair enough.
brought to my attention that
One of many.
the only way that he can say Sam Bradford is Sam Bradford. So that's as much as I believe in Sam Bradford is Sam Bradford.
Same guy with Tim Tebow and Colt McCoy.
There you go. Exactly.
That quarterback class.
So, moving on, the 49ers obviously
Jimmy G string, are you
the
kidding me?
most hyped team probably in the NFL coming in.
I think they're a total joke. I don't see them being I could see them being third, Seahawks second.
I disagree. I'm so excited for Jimmy G string.
Yeah.
I
gonna
am
be
ready
fantastic.
for the Jimmy G train. He looked awesome last year.
He looks so good
He
with that
looks
four
Small
star.
sample size. Teams didn't have a chance really to game plan for him.
Yeah.
There's certainly the option of regression being
Yeah.
on the table.
I just feel like
Also, they have a lower, probably an easier schedule than the Rams.
yeah.
Because
But-
the Rams will have the first place schedule.
I just feel
Kyle
like
Shanahan, I believe, is
a good coach.
very good offensive coach.
yeah.
And I think that their schedule allows them to have a lot of winnable games, finishing last in the division.
Yeah.
Or were they last? Were they tied? Or
They were third, I think.
Okay, so the Cardinals were.
The Cardinals
won
were worse,
6
yeah.
games.
Yeah, I think the 49ers won 7. I think they just
Right. Yeah,
they
the Cardinals
just eked.
picked at 11. I think the
49ers were
Niners at
13 or something.
Yeah, right. But still, third place schedule.
I just as far as all of the teams that are getting mad sucked off over the offseason, as far as they got so much better,
Well,
the
they-
Rams, the Cowboys to an extent because Zeke is coming back, and
I
then
think the Cowboys have actually. The people are skeptical on them.
I've only heard Zeke's coming back, it's going to be
the only
great.
skepticism I've seen from any critics or from their wide receiver core.
Yeah.
Well, and Dak clearly was exposed.
Well, yeah, but nobody wants to
Second-
say it.
Sophomore slump. I'm not putting out Dak as exposed is a little bit much for a second year quarterback.
I would say exposed.
I
but
definitely
I would
exposed. Had a great rookie season because he had that line in Zeke's rookie
Did he
season.
lose that line? And he's got Zeke again. So what's the big? So why can't he be as good as he was the first season?
Because the receiving core is worse. There's no Jason Witten.
Okay, Jason Witten wasn't that great last year either.
He's reliable. He's for a young quarterback,
and
having a veteran tight end who you can trust and know where he's going to be and
it's
help you
definitely
out.
something, and they didn't fill
Yeah.
that hole in any way.
No,
Wasn't Cole Beasley's number one target?
Yeah,
that's not good.
no, but
He's back.
to stay back on the NFC
NFC
West,
West, yeah.
I feel like of all the teams that are getting smoke blown up their ass the whole offseason, the 49ers did the least to get better over the offseason. Like, what the fuck else did they do other than Jimmy G undefeated?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck else
Never
do they
lost a
deserve?
game
Like, oh,
as a
here's my
starter.
7-9 team that didn't do anything to get any better over the offseason. Let's suck them off and put them in the fucking, like, playoffs the next season. What do they do?
I mean, the way they ended the season is, what have you done for me lately? That was impressive. You know, they smashed on the Jags, who were fighting for playoff position. Meanwhile, the
Pretender.
Niners had nothing to go for. So, I mean, they had a good end of the year.
But they didn't do
I
anything.
agree that they are the most overhyped team.
By a lot, I would say. I don't see it in any way. I think they're probably going to be at like right around that midline 8-8 zone again.
We'll
I just
see.
don't think that Jimmy G, I think he'll be pretty good. I don't see him being like so like Joe Flacco elite to like just bring the 49ers to the playoffs, you know? Like what the hell doesn't like I don't see the hype. And I see 49ers fans all over the internet talking about how like, oh, this is our year, we're coming back. And I think they're maybe like a year or two away. I don't see the hype. I don't see where it's coming from. Reuben Foster, excellent pick last year. Got some things going on that he could be the nice like defensive centerpiece. Jimmy G might be a good offensive centerpiece, but what the fuck else is around him? Oh, we got Jerick McKinnon for like $5 billion to be the running back. He was like the second or third best running back on the Vikings last year. Like,
Yeah, that was definitely a weird move.
here's our like, we have the highest paid fullback in league history. Like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what else is there around these two guys? Like, Foster and Jimmy G. Like, where are the wins coming from? Is basically what I'm talking about.
Well, looking at this, they've got a lot of teams that they play at home that are very winnable.
Okay.
They've got Detroit, they've got Arizona, they've got Oakland, they've got the Giants, they've got Denver, and they've got Chicago. So that's 6 games you feel like they're going to be favored in those games.
They got something. They got a good chance at the very least.
They do have some tough road games though. They've got Minnesota, Kansas City, Chargers, Green Bay. They're at Tampa Bay. That's going to be a win. At Seattle in December. Seattle may have folded by then and doesn't care anymore. And then they finish the season at the Coliseum. That'll be a good game.
I could see them losing
So I feel
like
their-
7
their
of those 8
schedule,
away
their
games.
schedule's not too bad.
I could see them losing like 7 of those 8 away games.
I'm not so sure about that.
Like,
I feel like it's harder early on than later on.
yeah, I guess, but
Because they closed the season with at Tampa Bay, at Seattle, 3 home games, and then at Los Angeles, who may be resting if they've got the division tied up.
that's true.
So,
But I just play this back to me in 4 months
Yeah, we'll
when
see.
Jimmy G's MVP, and I'll cut my dick off live on the stream. I don't give a fuck.
so that brings us to our hometown team, the Rams.
Rams probably gonna win the division.
They are certainly in position to win the division, in position to be in contention for the top seed based on how the free agent signings work out.
I'd say as much skepticism has been given to the Rams should have been given to the 49ers, and as much hype that has been given to the 49ers should be given to the Rams.
I would agree with that. I
they're
think
like-
people are overplaying the Ndamukong Suh thing
Yeah.
and the cornerback
Marcus Peters.
Yeah, Marcus Peters. I
Yeah.
think those guys came from non-winning cultures for the most part and will be excited to fit in on the squad. So I think the chemistry thing that people are skeptical about is overblown. What they needed was more veterans. That's what we saw in the playoff game.
Yeah, real young team, incredibly young team
Super
that added
young,
to.
very green.
I mean, Peters is pretty young too, but he's been in the league for a little while. It's better than like
Yeah,
getting.
there was 6 players that had played in a playoff game on the roster.
Yeah, something like that.
It was ridiculous.
Defensive players like playing for Wade Phillips too.
Yeah, Wade Phillips
like-
is the man
and they
as a
got-
defensive coordinator.
He's been great. Head coach, terrible. Defensive coordinator, great. So
Yeah,
and-
some guys are like that.
I think defensive players probably need more of a player's coach anyway, in that regard, because you need that kind of loose liveliness.
Yeah.
But because the discipline always comes from the offensive side.
Right.
So
Yeah, you want more of like the emotion and the passion.
you want
Yeah.
energy from
The
the
energy.
defense.
in addition to that, I feel like a lot of like head case talents are more survivable on defense. Like
Yeah,
a lot of like going right off of that point that you're making. Like a
Yep.
lot, if you can like get away with
That's why
having
a guy
a crazy
like Des
guy.
Bryant's still unsigned.
Yeah,
And
but you
Greg
get like
Hardy is sign, jail.
Well, I mean, he's a piece of shit. But like Sue, like he's always been good.
Guns
Always
blazing
been
against
great.
Tom.
Way overpaid on the Dolphins. Kind of crippled them as far as not being able to do anything else with their team because he got
Yep.
like over $100 million or something
Yeah.
and just ruined them. Peters was great on the Chiefs, getting all
Yep.
kinds of picks and shit, maybe a little bit crazy, but you add a little bit of that craziness into that defense, and
You
it
throw
becomes
Cooks
a
in
little
there,
bit.
you almost see what happens.
Yeah, I think Cooks.
I think he'll be fine as a replacement for the Watkins.
Yeah,
deep
I
threat.
think that's something that they need.
You know,
is to get like
Cooper
a
Kupp gets another a year.
got
of
him as like a
reps
good
and-
slot guy, and you got what's his nuts, Robert Woods,
Yep,
the
Woods was good.
USC alum, back in the Coliseum again. Like,
I think the biggest potential issue with the Rams could be Goff.
Yeah.
I think he was good. I don't even know if very good last year. I thought he was to the point where he was not holding the team back. I'm
Yeah.
not so sure I'm sold on him as like a franchise guy yet.
yeah,
Like he was obviously rough in year one,
Mm-hmm.
improved in year two, but for being the number one overall pick, it's definitely a little bit like if we don't see signs of
Of,
a
like, him
franchise
just
guy
taking it over
this
kind of thing.
year, that's
Yeah.
going to be a little worrying.
a lot of I
But
would say
with
something.
McVay, I think he'll. I think that's probably what McVay is going to focus on most. Is going to be getting Goff to try to make the leap to the next level.
Yeah, and
to
that
be
would-
on the top 10 of quarterbacks.
That leads me into like a totally overblown into where I'm not even really worried about it, but it's something in the back of my mind kind of a thing is the Sean McVay Chip Kelly parallel. I don't think that McVay has that dumb of a scheme that like it's
No.
going to get figured out in such a way that we're going to get that regression like Philly got from year one to year two, but it's like
Right.
such a, it's in the back of my mind because I've seen it happen before. And it's like, man, if they shut down Gurley, which I don't think is going to be easy because I think Gurley's better than anyone who was running for Philly. I mean, Shady's really good, but like he was getting up there and then they shipped him out
Right.
and now they got DeMarco and then they shipped him out and all that. It was like a real influx kind of thing. He's better than any of those guys were at that point.
I think so.
But I think if they could like get to the running game like they did in Philly that second year where it like became a
Certainly
problem.
the potential is there for, a Nick Foles year two kind of
Like oh god, what the fuck happened? We're like 7-9, and all of those losses came on like really terrible picks that like were thrown by our quarterback that we thought was good, but he became something else kind of
who
thing.
became the GOAT again. But
He became the goat again, but after like a exile, he was exiled. He was punished goat.
Punish GOAT. No, I think that potential is definitely there. We're running a bit long. We're going to have to go a bit quickly through the rest of the NFC here.
NFC East Eagles shut
next-
it down.
Next up is the South. I think that's the Saints division to lose. The Falcons, I think, rebound a little bit, but I think the Saints have more firepower at running back.
I think that this might be the year that the Panthers bottom out. I think they might just like choke on their own
Signs
like
are not
hubris.
looking good. I've never believed in Cam that much. Things, with the Kelvin Benjamin situation, this isn't the first
Confusing.
guy that's
Called him out, kinda,
called him
yeah.
out in the accuracy and everything.
Yeah.
There's potential there.
I think this might be the year
the
though.
Bucks
They just
could be the worst team in the NFC.
they could be the worst team in the NFL possibly. They got that.
I wouldn't sleep on some of these AFC East
But they
teams
got that
yet,
stink on them from the whole off season of
absolute
Jameis
stink.
and all that. That there just might be a bottom
it's a bad
out.
look.
Yeah,
So I think we're probably in agreement here. Saints division, Falcons are in the mix.
and both the other two teams trash.
Both two teams probably make the playoffs. Good chance.
I would say Falcons are probably a wild card team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up, NFC North. I think things have not looked great from Green Bay so far. Rodgers, I think, is getting impatient, but
Really
he's
frustrated.
He's still the most talented quarterback.
Probably
in
valuable,
in
too.
his prime. He's probably the best player in the NFL.
Probably
value wise.
The Packers probably had the most important offseason piece too when they fired Dom Capers, who was a piece of shit, terrible defensive coordinator, got rid of him. Now they maybe will have an actual defense to like collaborate with that great offense that they've always had with Rodgers,
And if Rodgers can figure out a way to fire his beard, then just come out, finally admit he doesn't really like women.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Focus in on football.
Lose Danica.
Yeah.
So I think the Packers, if Rodgers stays healthy and the defense isn't trash and they get somewhat of a resemblance of a running game, probably run away with that division. I think Minnesota's going to struggle with their schedule.
I'd say Minnesota and the
they do,
Lions
yeah.
both have a chance at that wild card. Like they're going to be in
They're
that
definitely
mid
both
zone
there.
kind of thing.
Minnesota's still got probably the most stacked defense,
I'm
but
skeptical of the Lions.
Minnesota has. You like that as quarterback,
Which neither of us have ever been a big fan
No,
of.
that's I don't trust in that guy at all. Never won shit.
Jared, what about Cook coming back? Dalvin Cook coming back?
That
I love Cook.
He was great. I don't know
And
if
we
we
have
saw
to
enough.
shout out to
I don't know
our-
if we saw enough from him to really believe that he's a super game changer.
I should also make a point that we should shout out to our friend of the pod and Rick and Morty composer.
Oh, yes.
Ryan Elder, who
Yes.
is a huge Minnesota Vikings fan.
I'm.
We like your team.
I'm ABP.
We're hoping
Is
they
that what you
do
call
well.
that? Anyone but Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fully
We want,
ABP.
we
Me too.
really do want the Vikings to do well because
Yes.
it's the only chance of beating the whack pack.
Yeah.
Ever since Ted Thompson fucked over Brett Favre, I've been ABP.
Yeah.
Plus, seeing all the bandwagoners in the last 10 years doesn't help.
I feel like that whole running back class of last year, all of
Brett
like,
Favre was really on the way out though. He had like 2 years left.
yeah,
He had his best year in a decade.
Patriots would have done the same thing.
Yeah, but they're not the Packers. The Patriots are unique. They're the
Yeah.
Cardinals or Spurs. They know when to pull the trigger right.
yeah.
I think that Favre got a raw deal there.
Was
For
Favre,
sure.
Was Favre playing in 2010?
His last season was his regression year after an amazing
After
40-year-old
a
he had
certain
that- he had
MVP candidate
he had
season
that-
for the Vikings.
09 was the year he.
Yeah, 09 was great for the Vikings.
after a
Finished
certain
second to,
Greg Williams
to
incidents.
Tom Brady
Yeah, and then the Packers won the Super Bowl the next year.
the next year in his season where he I think was kind of hurt, banged up.
A certain
So
Greg
technically,
Williams.
Rodgers would have been playing that year anyway, right?
In 2000,
2010 season.
the 2010 season, yeah.
Okay.
So I
The
mean,
year they won the Super Bowl.
right,
Okay.
yeah. Favre was playing, but he was 40. I'm not saying hold on to him then. I think
He got kind of
I
screwed.
think
'cause
the issue was partially his own fault for being like, oh, I don't know if I'm coming back. Like,
Yeah.
so I think if he had put his foot down, because they went 13-3, they were the
Yeah,
2 seed that year.
He wasn't cut. He retired, right?
Who?
Brett Favre wasn't cut. He retired.
He retired, then he was cut. I think.
I don't think he ever announced his retirement. He just didn't say.
I think
Was he crying and then like decided to change his mind?
That was 06.
Yeah, no, he retired after right before they said they were going to cut him. He retired because they said he was not going to be the starting quarterback the next year. I think was what happened in that 07 or whatever 08 before he got
season-
traded to the Jets.
Gotcha.
He was
That's
retired and he was the head the Green Bay on the
Right.
Madden
That's right.
cover,
That's right.
and then he got traded
he
to the
wanted
Jets.
to come back, and they told him
They said "fuck you,"
Yeah,
and
you're
then they
getting
traded him to
traded.
the Jets, and he went to the playoffs.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah,
Well, enough reminiscing about our high school era Packers.
but regardless, I
memories.
feel like that running back class of last year, Fournette, Kamara, Cook, all those guys, McCaffrey, great class. All of those guys had big boners for coming out of the draft, and I think that I believe in Cook because that was the Orange Bowl. I think that Florida State was in where.
Yeah, but he was hurt in like week 4, right?
Yeah, but he was like putting up like 130 yards a game,
see.
I think, every game for and he was like,
I definitely think Minnesota has just as much of a chance to win the division as Green Bay. I just think
I don't think they're going to win the division. I just think that he's going to come back and he's going to be good. That's my point with this.
and the Burrs are the Burrs. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Moving on.
moving on.
So the NFC East, there's no chance Philly loses the division unless things weird happen. I think the Cowboys
It is the most dynamic
have regressed.
division. It's it's been a while since someone went back to back.
I think people are overhyping this Giants situation just
With
because they're
Saquon?
not last year's Giants.
I would agree. Yeah.
And
I don't think that
think that's
Saquon's
a big-
worth like 8 wins. Like, there's no way.
they should have gotten a quarterback. Giants
Yeah,
fucked up.
They should have
Should've
taken a
got-
quarterback.
Yep.
I remember saying that like 6 weeks before the draft started. Everyone was like, there was that heat coming for Saquon coming to the Giants, and the whole time I was thinking, you got the number 2 pick. Pick the best quarterback. The Browns are going to fuck it up probably and pick somebody else.
They're going to pick the not best quarterback.
Yeah,
So that means you get the best quarterback.
They're going to pick the second best quarterback. You
Or the
pick the
fourth
best
best,
quarterback.
potentially.
Yeah, you pick the
We'll
best
see.
quarterback. There you go. And they didn't. They picked, admittedly, probably a really good running back. He looked good in the first preseason game. I loved him at Penn State.
Yeah.
But running backs are pretty
Dynamic,
freaking,
great player.
Running backs
it's,
are
it's
deep.
a
You don't
less
pick a-
relevant
find them
position.
anywhere.
You
than
don't
it
pick a running
ever
back at
has
2.
been.
You don't pick a running back at 2.
No.
He's
No way.
the second best or second highest paid running back in the NFL, I think.
Yeah, Todd Gurley
Yeah,
is
probably because
because
no one else is getting deals.
Like Todd
Yeah,
Gurley and
'Cause
Ezekiel
for a
are
reason
the
they're not
exception.
relevant anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants aren't going to go above 500. I think Washington could be good, but they're the Redskins. So
I think Jay Gruden might get fired this year.
I think he should have been fired earlier. But
Yeah, me too. But I think that he might get fired this year because, like, what the fuck are they going to do? Oh,
Yeah.
here, let's trade for like a 34-year-old quarterback and sign him to like a 5-year deal. What the fuck's their
They'll
problem?
get another injury plague too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so like Alex Smith, who
Good quarterback.
admittedly I like.
Yeah, good
his
guy.
best years have come under Jim Harbaugh and Andy Reid.
2 quarterback gurus.
So he's going to Jay Gruden now, and organization that is really a disaster.
An organization that literally like paid a quarterback top dollar for 2 years just knowing that he was going to leave the 3rd year because they couldn't
Really
do
a
anything about it.
disaster of a franchise.
They really fucked it up. They should have just let him go after the first year if they weren't going to pay him. You know, like after that, after his
like
contract
they're
was up.
somehow looked at as being worse of a franchise as Detroit, despite Detroit always being worse.
Yeah,
Just because their mistakes have been such more.
they're stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
Every year, like they make some sort of
They
thing.
also don't have share a division with the Packers.
That's true.
Yep.
But like every year, they make some sort of decision where everyone, regardless of team affiliation, is like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen anyone do.
Yeah.
What a fucking
So-
idiot!"
I don't believe the Redskins will ever achieve anything unless Joe Gibbs is their coach, and he's 87 probably
He's
now.
probably dying soon.
Yeah. What's his face getting murdered?
Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor, R.I.P. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, great guy.
That
Madden hero.
that was kind of the end of the franchise. RG3's knees exploded, and they've
And it
never
was
done
their
anything.
fault?
And it was their fault.
And then
They couldn't
Kirk,
mow the lawn right.
Kirk Cousins came in and he was pretty good. And then they were like, "Hey, how about we pay him $20 million a year for 3 years, and then he's going to leave for nothing?"
So, yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
Deadskins are dead.
Couldn't figure out
Giants
the name. Couldn't give
have
his
no
name right.
chance of being a winning team, in my opinion.
Cowboys back to their 8-8 ways.
Yeah, I think the eternal 8-8 meme is back. I think Eagles run away with this division.
Jason Garrett,
I
not
am-
even a coach.
Yeah.
I don't like the Cowboys, but I think they'll do better than 8-8.
You think so?
Yeah,
You thinking 8-7-1?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll take 8-7-1.
I'm really hoping for 0-0 and 16.
Oh,
That'd be
yes.
pretty good.
Tied every game.
I would.
Every game
the
in the
ideal.
league. Every team ties every game.
I'm hoping the Cowboys.
0-0, just too many penalties for missed tackles with the helmet rule.
Yeah.
Every player's ejected.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the Cowboys win just enough games every year that Jason Garrett continues to be the coach for the rest
Yes.
of my life.
Get the
I
clap.
100% agree.
Yeah.
With the clapper.
On that note, the Super Bowl, Philly
Super Bowl
versus Pats
predictions?
again.
Philly Pats rematch?
Rubber match?
think it's as likely
let's
as
go.
any other.
I'm gonna call it for. I'm not sure the Patriots will get there this year.
I
No?
think they will. I think the AFC still sucks.
Yeah.
I think Mike Tomlin has proven to not be a consistently good coach.
Yeah.
You thinking Rams Raiders?
It would be nice. No, I would say Battle of Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I don't see Tomlin getting over the hump.
I kind of think Big Ben might be.
I just don't. It's not Tomlin getting over the hump. It's like the Patriots just taking some.
Did
sort
you
of
hear about this?
decline.
Big Ben's in the concussion protocol because he fell over. He didn't even get hit. He just fell over and hit his head on the ground and was in the concussion
Not a good
protocol.
sign.
That's like a real bad sign for this Steelers season. I don't
Yeah.
know about that at all.
Yeah, I feel like the Steelers are going to win. We obviously talked about the AFC North,
Yeah.
but I don't believe in them in the playoffs that much. I think the AFC is clearly the weaker conference.
I think even if Big Ben misses like 7 games, the Steelers still win that division.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
as far as I don't know if it's, I don't know who to pick in the NFC right now. I'm not.
The NFC
I'm not convinced.
has
I'm not convinced the
too
Eagles
many
are like.
contenders.
I'm not convinced the Eagles
I would
are
list.
dominant
I
enough.
would list the Eagles. I would put the Packers, the Vikings. I would put the Saints,
the Rams.
Yeah.
Dark Horse Falcons. I'd put the Rams, all in teams that could make the Super Bowl. Whereas
Yeah.
in the AFC, I'm going Pats,
Maybe Steelers.
reluctantly Steelers, Texans.
Question
which
mark?
seems impossible.
Colts,
and-
if Andrew Luck comes back to like when they were in the AFC Championship form, you know, like
Like it's just hard to imagine any of these teams beating the Pats in a meaningful playoff game.
Yeah,
to
they
get to
kinda
the
all
Super
suck.
Bowl. Like things are just not good in the AFC.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to the Patriots with the way things have progressed. Probably it's been a lot of overhyped things. They're the talk of every offseason now.
yeah.
I mean it's
It's
just
always a thing.
knock the Pats down. 'cause
I've heard there's like a
no one else
similar.
is. No team is, so
Yeah.
the media has to do it.
I've heard there's like a similar like Aaron Rodgers situation going on with Brady, where he's like real frustrated with how the practices are going right now too. So
I have not heard that.
He's
but
gonna be
you
40
see
like a
more
real-
articles.
he'll be
it was a real recent thing where
You
he was
know-
talking about how like he had like a real bad stretch of things where people were dropping the ball real bad on him, and he like requested the ball back and then punted it into the crowd. So like he's like real pissed off about it apparently.
I'm alright with that.
Yeah, no, he's got the fire. Touchdown, Tom.
Never count out touchdown.
No.
Come on now, boy.